So today what we are going to do in our screencast is show strategies to see whether a number is prime or composite. So, can someone give me one of the strategies we just talked about in class? And let's start with the easiest strategies first. So what strategy do you think is the easiest one to use first? Sarah?
Multiplication tables?
Yeah, if you know your multiplication tables, then if you already know that number figures into your multiplication tables, then you know it has a factor. That is totally spelled wrong, but we'll leave it. Okay? Yeah, if you know what's in your multiplication tables, then we know that it is composite. Okay? I personally would do a different one first when we talked about it. What would, yeah?
It's odd or even.
Yeah. If it's even, then we know it is what? Automatically, if it's even. Yes?
Composite.
Yeah, and there's only one exception to that rule. What is the exception to that rule? There's only one even number that is a prime, and that is? Nope. Good try though. Yeah? 2. Okay? Except for 2. Okay? You're right. 15 is not prime though, except for 2. Okay? So I would start with that one, multiplication tables. What is another good strategy to use? Yeah?
Proving your answer with brackets and bubbles.
Sure. We're going to put that at the very end though, because that's problem solving. Okay? So that's good though. Yeah?
It will always be composite if it ends in 5 or 0, unless
you.
it is the number 5.
Excellent. So if it ends in a 0 or a 5, we know it is composite, as the robot said. We have a robot in our class, I didn't know if you guys knew that. We know it's composite, but we did say the exception is 5. Okay? Now, what other strategies do we just talk about? So you go through the 0 and 5, you go through the even numbers, you use your multiplication tables, and then you have a couple numbers that are left over, right? That you're not sure yet if they're prime or composite, because you haven't memorized the prime numbers. Who would do that? That's a waste of time. What strategy are you going to use now? Maddie?
You take the number and start dividing it by.
Yeah. Try with a calculator. Try with a calculator to find a factor. Calculator to find a factor. But we also just talked about even a more specific strategy. Because we're not going to try all the numbers on your calculator. What are you going to try? Remember those numbers we put up before? Do you remember those numbers we put up before? You're not going to try them all. Yep. 3, 7, 9, 11, maybe 13, and maybe 17. Those are the numbers you're going to focus in on. Because you know the even numbers aren't going to work. You know 5 isn't going to work. Okay, you know 0 and 1 and 2 aren't going to work because they are, you've already used those in your strategies. So you're going to focus in on these ones to see if it is prime. Okay? Thank you very much. Does the robot want to end us off with anything?
Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
I would like to add next point too. When it comes to problem solving, use thought bubbles. You need to tell me what strategy you used to decide whether it was prime or composite. Thank you very much, and we are.
Okay. Bye.